Hi, lovely study group participants. I wanted to leave you a little video about Jupiter's ingress into Pisces. You'll recall that my mom specifically mentioned at our last study group to pay attention to this ingress, which happens on May 13th at 3:36 p.m. Pacific time, because Jupiter's orbit is about 13 months. So it's one of the planets where when it changes signs, we can actually get a feel for it. So it's been in the sign of Aquarius. And if you think about what are some Aquarian archetypes, right? We know that Aquarius is a fixed sign. It's an air sign. We know that Jupiter and Saturn have been in orbit pretty closely together for most of this year, beginning with the Great Conjunction that occurred on December 21st, 2020. We saw it in the beautiful night sky. Wasn't that so gorgeous? I hope all of you got to see it because it was just so amazing and it doesn't happen very often. So the Aquarian archetypes, it is a very logical sign. It's very scientifically minded. It is very much about social activism, political activism, rooting for the underdog. And of course, it has a very visionary perspective on life. It's almost, not almost, it does have a broader perspective than even the Capricorn does. Capricorn up there at the top of the mountain, and Aquarius is the eagle flying even higher with this vision that is so broad that it can be at a genius level that people can't really even understand or comprehend. It's like out there, man, like David Bowie kind of like super, just crazy intelligent is my point. And speaking of Bowie, spaceman and all of these things, right? That's part of the Aquarian archetype. But from an evolutionary perspective, from a soul growth perspective, what is it that Aquarius wants more than anything? You tell me at our next study group. Think about that. So Jupiter's been occupying Aquarius, and now it's moving into the sign of Pisces. And what I think is interesting about all of the signs is that they always have something in common, even when they're dramatically different. And so what I like about Aquarius and Pisces is that they fundamentally both care deeply, but their orientation is different. So Aquarians care very much from a logical, mental point of view. And I often point to the Netherlands as a country that I believe has a Aquarian sun, if I'm not mistaken, in Mountain Astrology, which is the study of countries, like locations. And the Dutch they have legalized sex work, legalized drug use, and it is because they are very concerned with making society functional for everyone. It just makes good, logical, rational sense that you would legalize drug use and you would legalize sex work, because these are two areas where we see a lot of crime, we see a lot of civil rights abuses, and we see a lot of abuse generally in these areas. So if it's legalized, then it can be moderated, that's not really the right word, but regulated so that it serves the benefit of the collective, the whole. Pisces is a watery, emotional, feminine sign. So Piscean energy, Piscean people care deeply. They feel things so deeply, and they're motivated from their heart. This desire to serve others, to serve the collective, stems from a empathetic point of view rather than a logical point of view, because Aquarius, remember, can be very condescending in nature. It can be very high-minded, like I'm better than others. Pisces, no. Pisces, everybody is my brother. I can connect with everybody. I can have a deep heart and soul connection with anyone. So these are the difference between the archetypal energies that we might be feeling. Pisces is also about completions. Again, both signs are about the collective, but from different perspectives. And then of course we have to consider the archetypes of Jupiter, the planet Jupiter, which is very expansive and is representative of the guru. So I can imagine that we might be learning some lessons during this time. We might experience a more spiritual side of life during this time, Jupiter in Pisces. Remember that Jupiter is the ancient ruler of Pisces. So for those of you new to astrology, consider that some of the signs have ancient rulers and modern rulers. Can you guess which ones? The modern rulers are those that, or the signs that have modern rulership and ancient rulership are those that are ruled now by a planet that was only recently discovered. So which 3 planets are those? Give you a few seconds. Transpersonal planets. So Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Those are the 3 recently discovered planets. And so all of the signs that those planets rule have double rulership. So I don't want to deviate too far into that. Uranus rules Aquarius, ancient ruler Saturn. Neptune rules Pisces, ancient ruler Jupiter, and Pluto rules Scorpio, ancient ruler Mars. Okay, so I'm not going to go into the Jupiter archetypes here. That's something, I'm not going to give you everything because it's study group material. So I want you to think about, what does Jupiter represent? What does Jupiter represent for the masses, for humanity generally? And then what does it represent in your life personally? Okay, so that's the first thing, is to observe this shift of energy. How do you respond to this shift of energy? Secondly, I would like for you to pull up your chart and see where Jupiter will be in your chart. So you're going to look for the house that has Aquarius on the cusp. Even though Jupiter is moving into the sign of Pisces, I want you to look for Aquarius, because it will move from Aquarius into Pisces, and it's most likely that Jupiter is in the house with Aquarius on the cusp. But of course, as a student of astrology, I know you got it in you to determine in what house, it's going to be moving. Jupiter will be in the sign of Pisces for 2.5 months. So until, oh rats, I can't remember. I think it's like July 28th. I thought I had written it down. I apologize. 2.5 months. This is an excellent moment for the ephemeris. So if you haven't already downloaded an ephemeris from Google, do that now and find out for yourself for how long Jupiter will be in the sign of Pisces, okay? Oh, I do have the date. I still want you to look at the ephemeris though, okay? That's a little assignment that I'm giving you, but it will be in Pisces until July 29th. And then it moves back into Aquarius. So on June 20th, it stations and moves retrograde back into the sign of Aquarius. And then it will stay in Aquarius for the remainder of this year. I think it's until like December 20th, late December, it moves back into Pisces. So more or less for the entirety of the year, and then almost for the entirety of 2022. So this 2.5 month period will give us a little bit of a flavor for what it will feel like to have Jupiter and Pisces next year. So this is why my mom said, hey, pay attention to this. So at the study group on Wednesday, May 26th, we will be focusing primarily on the upcoming eclipse season. It's not the first eclipse of the year. The first eclipse of the year was in January, but it was the tail end of eclipse season, which straddled the new year. This is our first actual eclipse season this year. And on May 26th, we will have a total full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Sagittarius at 5 degrees. Why is it in the sign of Sagittarius? It's a full moon. Another Jeopardy moment for you. The sun will be in Gemini. Full moons are always opposite sign of the sun. So sun in Gemini, moon in Sagittarius, 5 degrees. I also want you to come to the study group prepared to tell me where 5 degrees Sagittarius is in your chart. Okay, so look at your chart, look for Sagittarius on the cusp. Sagittarius is the arrow, and see where 5 degrees is. It could be that 5 degrees Sagittarius is actually in the house before the house that has Sagittarius on the cusp, because 5 degrees is quite early. If this does not make sense, post a comment in this video, please, and I will answer it for you. And Yeah, subscribe to my channel, please. Please give a thumbs up if you're enjoying this video. I will continue to make videos for the study group. So if there's something specific you want to know, again, leave a comment and let me know, because I derive the most benefit from making videos that are answering your questions. I love to talk on Mercury-ruled, come on, Gemini moon, but I don't want to talk just to hear myself speak. I want to talk so that I can deliver more of this ancient wisdom from the cosmos directly to you. So can't wait to see you on Wednesday, the 26th. For those of you new to study group, we review every single person's chart who shows up. So depending on how many people are there, it determines the length of time that we can focus on each person's chart. But the benefit of coming to a study group on a day like an eclipse is that you're going to have a bunch of people telling you how this is going to look for you in the coming days. Because remember, eclipse energy isn't just on the eclipse. Eclipse energy lasts the entire season, and depending on what transpires for you during the eclipse, that can even be for months, if not years, right? Because we know that during eclipses, we can have sudden and unexpected changes, like fun and not so fun things can transpire under eclipses. So I'll be really curious to hear what happens for all of you. And again, I love you. I think you're fabulous. And I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I look forward to seeing you soon. All right. Ciao, ciao.